Welcome to a couple of Bunkys.
A couple years ago, we ended up having 4 days without power, and recently we ended up going 7 days without power. So we decided that we cannot rely on local infrastructure to keep the lights on. So we scoured Marketplace and ended up finding a used generator that had some issues that I felt I can take care of. These are also good tips to follow if you end up getting something without a maintenance history. It actually wasn't that big of an issue. It wouldn't run off choke. But since I didn't do the maintenance schedule on this generator, I figured I'd go over everything with a fine-tooth comb. First, I go ahead and take off this fuel tank. I actually really love this feature that I can go ahead and just throw this fuel tank in the back of the car and get it refilled with no extra tools required. So here's another issue that I was finding with a small generator. We were also only getting about half the voltage, and this reseating this plug seemed to take care of the problem. I honestly really love this generator and how compact and mobile it is. Now that it's on the table and easier to work on, I can go ahead and start draining this oil. It was just a small square plug on the side of the engine sump. Now I can reinstall the plug and add the new oil. We're using 5W30 for this engine. Now I can go ahead and replace the old air filter. Honestly, I've seen a lot worse air filters in engines. Now, the number one reason why it probably won't run off of choke is most likely because the carburetor needs to be cleaned. But when a gasket kit for a carburetor is $7 to $9, but you can get this kit for $27, that includes a brand new carburetor, air filter, and spark plug, and much more. Now I can just move this breather tube out of the way. The two studs that are holding the carburetor into place have Torx heads on them. I use a nut driver with a Torx bit in order to take off the old carburetor and to install the new one. This carburetor kit came with several choke levers that you could choose from. Now that the choke lever is attached, I can go ahead and put back on the air filter. While I'm doing that, my wife is taking off this panel right here so we can have access to the governor. This spring rides alongside this control arm. Since I have a replacement, I might as well replace it. And my son is in the background with a screwdriver in his mouth. And he decides to take the air filter. Installing the new control arm and spring was just about as hard as taking it off. After the governor controls are attached, I can put back on panel from earlier. Now I go through and make sure to tighten up all of the bolts and nuts that I had taken off. We had received a brand new spark plug from the kit earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and replace this old one with it. The previous owner has been running it on choke for as long as he can remember, so this is going to be a pretty nasty spark plug. Now, after reattaching the spark plug, I can put some of the old heat shielding back on. Now I can reattach the gas tank. The engine initially came with a ATV or motorcycle fuel disconnect. It was brittle and it had snapped off in the fuel line, and I had to dig it out and replace it. I have more experience with marine products, so I went ahead and replaced it with this marine fuel disconnect. This is a great upgrade for this little engine because if I can remove this tank, take it to the gas station without shutting any of the valves. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications on future videos. We also have a merch store where we have made custom t-shirt designs for woodworking enthusiasts. We also have an eBay store where we sell a lot of our projects, including our best sellers, our walking sticks. We'll make sure to include all of the links inside of the description below. And now it's a one-pole engine, and I don't have to run it on choke. It works much better than when I last touched it. I'm getting a full 30 amps, 220 volts compared to the 15 amps that I was getting last time, and I no longer have to run it on choke. Shortly after this video, we had about 4 or 5 days that we had the generator running constantly. Being able to hear the generator outside, it almost made it feel like it was part of the family. And having a very inexpensive generator and doing just a little bit of work on it was way better than spending $400 or $500 on something that was brand new. I'm also a big fan of Toro and Wheel Horse products, and my wife and I worked on Briggs Stratton engines while in college, which made this the perfect little mashup for our family. Again, thank you for watching our video. Please leave a comment on any videos that you'd like to see in the future.